Which first-year Georgia Bulldogs are turning heads right now during fall practice? That's what we're talking about in today's video. We're talking transfers. We're talking true freshmen, new faces, fresh faces. Kirby Smart talked a lot about those guys this week to reporters. This is the time of the year where everyone wants to know, how are the freshmen doing? How are the new guys doing? And we've got a big update for you in this video. We're going to talk about several guys, offense, defense, all over the place, right? So just some insider scoop, making sure y'all are knowledgeable Georgia fans as we head into the 2025 season. But first, got to plug the website, dawgpost.com. You can read more about this and other insider behind-the-scenes notes on the 25 Dogs and how practice is going over on the website. So make sure you're checking that out. But I want to start with a guy on offense that I've been talking about for a long time. In fact, this is the biggest high school freshman I had ever seen at the moment. I'm talking about Juan Gaston Jr., the freshman offensive lineman. Mount Gaston is what I call him. If y'all are familiar with this channel, if you're familiar with my work, you know that I was yelling from the mountaintops when he was barely a four-star guy on some of these other outlets, like top 200 player in the country, top 30 player in Georgia. I'm just sitting there thinking, what are y'all doing? What are y'all talking about? This guy is really good. Now, he's big. Now, he is listed at 6'7", 360. So that was my only slight red flag that I had on him as a high school prospect. But every time I saw him, he was bullying people and throwing guys into the ground, almost through the ground. I mean, the guy is massive, and he's going to get a real shot at the right guard position. He's getting a strong look there. Here's what Kirby Smart had to say about his giant true freshman offensive lineman out of Westlake High School. He said, one's got to get in better shape. Again, he's listed on Georgia's website, 6'7", 360. That's a big boy. Gordon, he's a talented player, but he plays a lot of snaps. At his volume, as his volume goes up, he struggles to sustain, which is usually the case with freshmen. They just can't handle the volume, the practice load that they get. He's growing at that. He's lost 25 to 30 pounds since being here, but he continues to work hard and work with the ones and the twos and pickups, pass pro pickups, and different things that he has to do. He's learning. So, again, I'm not saying he's going to come out and start, but I said when he was in high school, this guy has a chance to be a multi-year starter in Athens. He is big, he is physical, and just a pancake machine. So he's a guy who is impressing early on. If he continues to lose weight and continue to stay where he is from a muscle mass standpoint, he is going to see the field at some point soon, maybe take over a starting job at some point along the line. He could play tackle, he could play guard, doesn't matter. The kid's really good. Okay, moving on. Let's go to defense. Elo Medozi, the transfer from Army, a guy that Kirby Smart is a big fan of. He talked a lot about him during SEC Media Days, had a lot to say about him this week as well. He is a promising pass rusher, length, athleticism, former wide receiver. He's going to help Georgia get after the quarterback. Here's what Kirby Smart had to say about new transfer Elo Medozi. Said Elo is still finding his way in the defense in terms of knowledge and understanding leverages. He's playing a little bit of a different role than he played at Army. So he's adjusting to that. I love his work ethic. I love the way he competes. He's twitchy, and he's going against two really good tackles every single day. The Dogs also have Quintavious Johnson, not a first-year guy, so he's not in this video, but a guy that we continue to hear behind the scenes might take that second-year jump. Gabe Harris has some experience making plays at that. So Georgia could be just fine at the edge, outside linebacker, kind of position. They got guys who can get after the quarterback. If Elo Medozi continues to improve, he's going to see the field a lot this year. He talks about Ryan Montgomery, the true freshman quarterback who missed pretty much the entire 2024 season. His senior season, he got hurt game one, missed the rest of the season, but the kid can really play. He said, Ryan gets it, and he's very into the mental side of it. He throws a very catchable ball. He's a very accurate passer, a little overwhelmed at times and probably thinking too much in terms of we give the quarterback a lot and we give the freshman quarterback a lot because it's a lot greater than what they're used to. But he's handled that volume well, and he does a good job processing information and taking coaching to the field, which is a good sign for a quarterback. So we'll see how his growth continues. Another guy on defense I want to talk about, J.J. Hann, the defensive linemen. Remember, Georgia only signed 2 defensive linemen in the last class. I made an entire video about Elijah Griffin yesterday, how everyone is talking about this kid is, showing up to be the real deal. Top 5 prospect in the country. But J.J. Hand is another guy that they brought in. Little bit of a project, though. He's got size, 6'5", 280, maybe 290, from Germany. Played out in California for 1 year before making his way to Athens, Georgia. But if this guy starts to get it and it starts to click and he's learning the fundamentals and the technique and the basics better and better, this guy's going to impress and really prove a lot of people wrong. He was just a 3-star. Apparently, he is catching the eyeballs of a lot of people at practice. Kirby Smart said he's growing up, he's learning technique, he's playing hard. Football's important to him. You always see that him out there doing extra work at practice. He's one of the kids that wasn't born and raised in the United States, so he doesn't take this opportunity for granted, and that's a key ingredient to his success. So definitely a guy that Georgia fans need to keep an eye on because, again, he probably went under the radar as far as guys in that 25 class, one of the lower ranked guys there. But Trey Scott said, hey, there's a lot to like about this young man. He's got size, potential, and if I can continue to teach him the game, get his technique down, his fundamentals down, his hand placement, leverage, learn how to be a defensive lineman, this guy's going to turn out to be really good. Kirby Smart talked a lot about Adrian Maddox, the transfer from UAB. That kid's a dog, okay? I said it when Georgia got him out of the transfer portal. That kid can play, and he's fighting for some playing time. There's no doubt about it. There are plenty of opportunities for the safeties, and this guy is coming in and, again, probably flew under the radar a little bit because he's from UAB. I think Georgia fans are like, the kid's from UAB, whatever, right? We'll see how it goes. Kid's a really good player. Here's what Kirby Smart had to say about safety Adrian Maddox. He said he's more comfortable in the defense, the checks, the things we put on a safety are probably greater than any position outside of linebacker and quarterback. So he's more comfortable in practice than when we had 10 or 11 practices because now he's around 25, 26 practices. He's so much more comfortable than he was in the spring. He had some really good redeeming qualities. He's passionate and instinctive. He runs to the ball hard. He plays hard. He has a knack for getting balls out, but he has to play within the defense and understand leverages and what we call and playing, not playing rat trap. He's got to consistently do that to play winning football, but I'm excited about what the future holds for him. So he is a safety that might, be flying under the radar, who could absolutely push for playing time. He came to Georgia to play. He came to Georgia to make an impact, and there's opportunities there. So this is a transfer that I think Georgia fans need to know about. He talked a little bit about Thomas Blackshear and Rashawn Dinkins. Thomas Blackshear, the wide receiver from Savannah, they got to Georgia in the summer. They were not spring enrollees or winter enrollees. Rashawn Dinkins is a safety out of Warner Robins. He said Thomas Blackshear's been dealing with a groin injury that's been nagging, so he's not been able to take a giant workload. He's fighting to stay healthy, and that's not easy to do during camp. He said Rashawn Dinkins is a good football player. He's young, he's still learning, he's instinctive, and he understands football. A few other guys behind the scenes that are impressing. Zayden Walker, the 5-star linebacker, starting to hear about him. He's doing better and better throughout fall camp. I think it's always a little bit of a struggle for these guys, the first-year players who are experiencing a tough, gritty fall camp for the first time. But Zayden Walker is a guy who we've been told is emerging at that linebacker spot, depending on the outlet you look at. He was the number 1 linebacker in the country, number 3, number 4. Doesn't matter. The kid is a really good player that Georgia liked early in his high school career. He jumped on board, so he was an elite linebacker prospect, kind of buried on the depth chart. They've got a lot of great inside linebackers, and he's one to keep an eye on. But apparently, it's starting to click. He's starting to compete and practice really well. Talon Taylor, the wide receiver, we've been talking about him for a long, long time, dating back to when he was a prospect, uncommitted to Georgia. The kid can play. He's shifty, really good footwork, can get open. He's got good, strong hands, kind of lean. He's not the biggest or heaviest guy, but he moves really, really well. He is a smooth runner. He's sudden. He can change directions quickly, burst up the field. Tremendous. He can catch the ball high. He can catch it falling to the ground. There's just so many qualities that he brings to the table. He was a 5-star for a reason, and he's the guy that we continue to hear about behind the scenes. I think it was a little bit of a struggle for him in the spring, but it's starting to click now that he's been in the program for 9 months. doing better and better through fall camp. And then there's two other guys that we have been hearing about behind the scenes, but we got to get y'all over to the website. We can't give you all the information for free on YouTube. The whole point is to get y'all over to dogpost.com before the season starts. We've got a great deal going on right now. Buy 1 month, get 3 months free. So you can get the first 3 months of the football season for free if you sign up and pay for 1 month. The link to that is right down below. So no reason to be on to not be on dogpost.com. That's the place to be. I'm telling you, it's the place to be. That's where the 5-star Georgia fans are. They're always up to date. They know the latest and greatest related to Georgia football, and we want you to do the same. So make sure you are checking us out, dogpost.com. A lot of first-year players, a lot of new faces making noise right now in fall practice. Thanks for watching. Hope you learned something. Georgia's freshman class is really good. These transfers might make a big impact. We'll see how many see the field against Marshall week 1, but we'll be there to cover it for you. Of course, we cover the team. We're not some random Joes talking about Georgia football. I'll be in the press box. Dean will be on the sidelines. We can't wait for the season to start and talk about the Dogs with y'all throughout the fall. Thanks for watching. Hope you learned something. I'll see you over on the website.